Ladies and gentlemen, the movie that you have been waiting for, that you have been begging for, that you have been clamoring for every single moment of your waking day is finally on the way. You heard it over the last couple of days and you cannot believe your ears that this is absolutely 100% true. The Princess Bride is being remade, and it's being remade just for you. Jeez Louise, if this is not further proof that the Hollywood establishment is both creatively and morally bankrupt, I don't know what is. So, not even a couple of weeks ago, we had the launching of the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, which was a perfect way of relaunching a property from the 80s. Now, The Princess Bride, on the other hand, is not exactly the same as Dark Crystal in many different ways. Number one, The Princess Bride's actual entire plot revolves around two central characters, or three really: the protagonist, the antagonist, and the princess herself, who is in love with this gentleman. Well, if you haven't seen The Princess Bride, you probably wouldn't be clicking on this in the first place, so you wouldn't. I mean, going through the plot synopsis is kind of ridiculous. But the truth is that was a story that was told within a bubble. Whereas the Dark Crystal had a lot of elements going for it. So there was a lot of, even inside of the original Dark Crystal movie, you had a lot of throwbacks to things that had happened in the past, like the Gartham War and, the Gelflings. Why is it that the Gelflings are just, two Gelflings at that point? And you could go back and you can show exactly how they got to that point, which they did really well. And they had characters from the original Skeksis who made their appearances in the prequel, and that's perfectly great. But you don't have that in The Princess Bride. So what's going to happen here is that this is going to have to be just a full-on remake of a movie. And I think I'm just kind of tired of seeing movies remade. I'm also tired of seeing movies being remade under the guise of it being something new, which is just ridiculous. A New Hope was remade when they made The Force Awakens. That was a New Hope. The Force Awakens was a New Hope with a new skin on top of it, but generally the same exact beats. I mean, you could probably play those two movies side by side and you'll have matching lines. That's how close those two were to each other. So if you're looking at what The Princess Bride is going to do, if it's going to be just a complete and total remake of the original 1980s classic Princess Bride, then what's the point of redoing this? Why are we doing this again? Why are we watching the same movie over and over again? It's really starting to get ridiculous. Another problem that you're going to have is how exactly are you going to cast this movie, and what message are you going to try to send with this movie? Because all of us know that right now Hollywood is more concerned with messaging than they are with telling great stories. That wasn't necessarily the case back in the 1980s when they made the original Princess Bride. You look at the original Princess Bride and you have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed protagonist. He's in the beginning, he's actually not there to save the princess, but he thinks the princess has betrayed him, has betrayed their love. And he thinks she's getting married to this other guy willingly. So he treats her, he's almost there just like to kidnap her in a sense. And this whole woke culture that we live in now, is it really going to be conducive to telling that kind of story from the 1980s? Can we, or are they going to try to do the whole, we're updating it for a new generation that doesn't necessarily even actually exist? Are they going to take, the protagonist of that movie? Are they going to, change the gender, change the race, change the motivation? Are they going to try to make the princess Kind of like what they did with Aladdin, where they just added these things to Jasmine's story arc to try to make her seem more self-sufficient or self-motivated. Like she don't need no Aladdin. Are they gonna try to do the same thing here? And if they are, why are we watching this? What's the point? Like, why even call it The Princess Bride? Why not just make a brand new movie set in that timeline? Just completely different characters altogether. Why are we latching on to the nostalgia of other people? Why are we latching on to it? It's gotten to the point now where it's borderline ridiculous. You can't get creative and make your own thing. You know that the characters that you do create are nonsensical characters. So you have to go back to you have to go back to when people actually took their art form serious. When people weren't just doing things for participation awards, but they had to work their asses off to get things done, to be innovative. They had to work their asses off. You want to go back and strip those ideas and try to create them or make them on your own or bastardize them with your stupid ideas that make absolutely no sense and make not only tarnish your own legacies, but tarnish the legacies of the people that came before you. That's exactly what you're doing here with The Princess Bride. This is a worthless, useless, absolutely nonsensical idea to remake this movie. There is nothing that you can add to the lore. There is nothing that you can add to the plot of the previous movie that would make it worth watching over again. If I want to see the real thing, I will see Andre the Giant. I don't want to see this remake. And I swear, I had this strange feeling that the Big Show is going to be cast in that Andre the Giant role. I don't have any problem with the Big Show. I think the guy's hilarious. I think that guy is extremely underrated, but I don't think he should do this kind of movie. This movie just should not be made. Enough's enough.